right, welcome everybody to the Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Santos. Today on the show, we have Alex Gervais. He is a fellow BCom graduate at McEwen. He's also the director and founder of Loop Strategic Marketing, as well as Loop Real Estate. So, hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah. So I guess today, I think we know each other. We reconnected after a long time, probably about 10 years, actually. And since then, you've done some pretty amazing stuff. Super.
10 years.
It's been a crazy 10 years. So yeah, and like in the last 10 years, you're currently operating 2 companies, but how many have you kind of played around with before that?
Yeah, so I think it's about 4 or 5 actual corps. Like the reality, everything I do with Loop has always been kind of like the main tentpole of everything else I dabbled in. So like Loop Marketing led to Loop Real Estate. There's been a couple other little side ventures that have kind of spawned off of, but it's kind of like my main kind of 3 businesses that I focus on, which would be marketing, real estate, and then real estate investing. So those kind of 3.
Right. So obviously during that time you've learned a lot. So what would you say qualifies you as a leader?
Totally, and that's always something like, I don't know, leadership or being a leader is a good thing to me. It's a hard. I don't know. Like I think everyone's a leader in their own way, so to speak. But for me, I think I've led hundreds of contractors at this point through Loop as we scale up. We've dealt with dozens of web developers, AdWords, PPC specialists, manage teams and clients on a regular basis, and train staff. So yeah, I just think my reach with who I've had to coach or train in business and marketing, I think would qualify me as a leader. But I take that, it's maybe not that as well.
Sure.
Leadership, but,
Yeah, well, any type of project management or even any type of managing is leadership inherently, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I believe things every day, right?
Yeah.
So does that make me a leader?
Sure. Yeah. So one of the most interesting things that I found after kind of reconnecting with you is the kind of entrepreneur journey that you went through. I remember you raised a bunch of money for an app, and so can you tell me what your journey was kind of like?
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. So silly kind of looking back, and always kind of have to think about all the steps it took to get where I am now, and very, very grateful for where I am today, but it's like, yeah, it could have all crumbled several times in the past. So long story short, while I was at McEwen, I was working for Glentel, so I was managing retail kiosks for cell phones. So enjoyed it. I liked sales. It was something that kind of in the cell phone boom back in that time when smartphones were still a new shiny thing, so pretty easy to sell them. But I did well, and just always wanted to do something kind of bigger, better, what the next thing is. So going through McEwen, I was interested in entrepreneurship. I always thought of it as the kind of be all and end all. I think just entrepreneurs as a whole are a different breed, and I think it's kind of the most admirable thing you can do. So I always wanted to do something in starting my own business. At that time, I was also, pretty tech savvy. I wanted to do app development. It's kind of always a dream of mine. Again, based in the time, the whole Silicon Valley lifestyle seemed very cool to me. Not a developer by any means. So I was like, okay, what do we need to do? Well, we want to build an app for restaurants. Was kind of the idea. Funny enough, it was actually a project at McEwen that sparked the idea for the app. And I was like, we can turn this into a business. Just wanted to do something. So at this point, super naive, thinking it's easy, right? You press a couple of buttons, you pay somebody to build an app, and all of a sudden, you're at this massive company. So made a business plan. It was an okay idea, but we were trying to compete with, Yelp or...
What was the idea?
So it was it's like a social media app for restaurants exclusively and specifically that was really based on restaurant marketing. So really something like an open table at Yelp. Not a lot of substance when you dug into it. If everyone was using it and it was across the world, sure, it would function, but nobody's going to start to use it and getting through that stage. It was something that I just had no understanding of what it actually took to make apps successful. So wrote a business plan, pitched a couple of investors, managed to get funding somehow. So then we went and built the app through a development company here in the city. They built it. It did not get to the stage of being functional. We had steaming pile of hot garbage, if that makes sense. Don't blame the development company for it by any means. It was the fact that we didn't have a true system. So no bad blood there by any means, but just young, new, didn't know what to do. Gave them an idea and thought they'd build it for us, but didn't scope it properly.
Right.
So anyway, so in that process, we were working with a ton of different restaurants, scoping, planning, having that kind of conversation, looking at what they need, and it was a recurring theme that they had no idea what they're doing for their marketing. Right? It's one of those things that social media, they know they should be on it, but they're not on it regularly. They think it's a cool idea, but they're busy. Restaurant owners inherently are swamped all the time. So at that point, we just kind of pivoted, saw the opportunity where we were able to start a social media management company for restaurants specifically. So did that, got a couple clients, started doing the typical take pictures of food, and you post on social media, you chat with the audiences and that kind of thing. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and it was a fun little time in my life with a lot of free food and get to hang. There's a lot of pros to restaurant social media management, but there's a lot of flaws as well. And it's something where restaurants are so tight on their margins, and the trackability and actually to be able to prove a profit for a client is very, very difficult. So you see the post on social media, sure, they head over and they buy something, but you're not seeing that kind of conversion mechanism the same way as you would with a standard website with a lead form. So just kind of naturally, we were working with restaurants, and then we got referrals for cleaning companies, for service businesses, for various kind of other industries. And then that's when things just really started to get fun for me. I'm a numbers guy at the end of the day, and social media wasn't the way to build business for those companies for where they were at in their kind of business journey. They needed the phones ringing, they needed leads coming through so that they could pay their bills and keep growing their business.
Right.
So naturally kind of landed from there, expanded from just social media marketing, because people hear marketing, they're like, oh, you do this, this, and this. And it's like, we were always like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And then I would spend weeks studying and learning, figuring out how to build a WordPress site or whatever it is, build the site, and then get it live. The second we got our ad campaigns up and running and website management, those two just really kicked the company into high gear, because it's the easiest thing to maintain clients in the marketing world when you're making clients more money than they're spending with you. The client's spending $1,000 a month and you're making them $2,000, they're never going to fire you. You're going to work together forever and you're going to continue growing. So the second that happened, all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is what we need to do more of. It's something that was really right in my wheelhouse, and just allowed us, to grow the business, maintain clients, and keep kind of recurring relationships set up. And so that's kind of when we slowly kind of added to our tool belt for marketing. So,
and sorry, just to be clear, because you sound like it's just such an easy, natural progression from this step to the next. What kind of timeline are we talking about here?
It was probably over about a year and a half that we went through this transition between doing social media for restaurants, started getting clients outside of that period where it's, let's say about 6 months. There was a point where I think we were managing about 15 to 20 restaurant social media accounts in the city. You go up and down White Avenue, you're working with 5 or 6 different businesses. And so about a year and a half was the transition to the point where we had the social media marketing company and then expanded to kind of our full stack of services, which is pretty similar to what it is today now.
And then, so you got the marketing company going, and then you just basically started adding on another service, or?
Yeah, exactly. So the kind of the way it went was, social media led into websites and paid ads, so PPC, or like Google Ads management. That naturally led into SEO in that space as well. And it's only been over the last about 2 years, I would say, that we've really refined what our value proposition is and why we're different, right? And that's truly just like end-to-end funnel building, where a business comes to us, we're not here just to sell them one individual little piece of service where, isn't really accountable for any profit. It's just like, okay, well, we build a website, you take it from here and go for it. We build the full package, so we look at where a company is, what services we can do to make them profitable, and then add on and expand as it makes sense for the business. So that's something that not a lot of people do, or not a lot of people do well for that matter. And it's really just something that for us, it sets us apart because, again, like I said, it keeps our clients profitable, keeps everyone happy. And then from there, our recurring relationships, I've seen businesses grow over the last 4 years that, they have one car on the road, let's say, for their service company, and now they're at 6, 7, 8, and it grows, and it's just a fun, exciting role doing what we do, opposed to building a website and then is that client still in business 3 years later? You know, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I love working with entrepreneurs and seeing kind of their journeys, and that's
one of the things that I really recognize about talking with you is the fact that you're in it for like the long haul with the client together.
Yeah, I think starting a business at the beginning and going through all of the steps and mistakes that we made, and there was a ton, an absolute ton of mistakes we made, and so many things that I just have to laugh at. 'Cause it feels like a different person, right? That made these choices. You just don't know. You learn by doing, or you learn by getting advice and learning from other people and their mistakes. And I look at entrepreneurs that are starting and where they think to allocate their funds. Like, okay, well, we need to spend a massive amount on branding packages and that kind of stuff, and spend all this money and go into a ton of debt. And it's like, okay, well, the idea is great because, you know, the BDC has given us a loan for X amount of dollars. They must believe in it. We're going to be rich very quickly. And then they're just burning money before proving up the product and making money. Mm-hmm. So for me, yeah, I'm passionate about it in the sense that I see all the mistakes I made. And if I can save a couple entrepreneurs early on those pitfalls and help them, like that's just probably the most rewarding thing that I can do. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And can you explain, because you're also operating a real estate company?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Loop Real Estate. Long story short, there is a large portion of a business is marketing. And we just kind of realized how much revenue and growth we were providing for clients. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we're profitable and do well with Loop, but like as you grow a company and scale up the campaigns, like the return for the client is exponential versus our services as a business is a little bit more stable, so to speak. So we saw real estate as an opportunity to kind of dabble in. Obsessed with real estate as a whole, just because I do think as an entrepreneur, real estate is a very solid retirement strategy.
Okay.
I just think it is a very good way to build a portfolio because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't have a retirement plan, right? And you go, just don't have one. So I've always been interested in real estate. And real estate is pretty much all marketing. It's relationship building. It's getting in front of people when they're shopping, when they're looking for a property. And then when you get that listing or you're selling that property, it's getting in front of the right people that could buy. So real estate is a very heavily marketing-based business. So it's kind of a natural fit for us to get our real estate licenses. So did that. And then it all started because we were doing marketing for realtors. And so we run marketing accounts to this day all across Canada for realtors, you know, across Ontario and BC. It's just something that we do very well and know how to do it. So locally within Edmonton, we have a real estate team that's just we get to leverage our marketing efforts.
Yeah, like, and I just think it's just a nice, natural, like you said, progression from one stage into the next, and then you notice, oh, like here's another opportunity. So why not? Like,
yeah, no, absolutely. That's always looking for what is that opportunity, and obviously you have to say no to a lot of things, and then real estate was just one that couldn't say no to. It was just too good of a fit, and again, it just aligned with everything I was doing, and again aligned with the retirement strategy and everything. So it just made sense.
Nice. So during this time, how, like, you obviously, it sounds like raising that money for the app was a big risk, but what is the most, would you say, important risk that you took?
Yeah, 100%. So the most important thing that I ever did, and I'm very thankful I took the plunge, was going completely full-time into my own business. So when I left my last job, we had 2 marketing clients. So we were moonlighting, and that was a business that we were kind of running and getting up and going. And it got to the point where we weren't making a lot of money on those 2 accounts, right? Like it was not enough to pay my bills by any means. So taking the jump and just diving into entrepreneurship like full force, if I would have dragged my feet, I don't think I ever would have been able to do it. A lot of people have different journeys and are able to kind of start things and build things and then jump at the right time. For me, where we were at,
you're burn the ship's guy.
I really am. I'm go all in, figure it out. If I had a better opportunity to, let's say, work in a marketing company that would show me the ropes and really teach me like the entrepreneurship things, I would have done that 100%. But at that point in my life, I didn't have the network or the knowledge of what I wanted to do. I knew this was kind of the space I wanted to be in, and yeah, just jumping ship when we had 2 accounts. It was kind of the best decision I ever made. Looking back at that, the first 18 months was a very stressful, anxious thing. Like it's easy to look back now and be like, it was great, awesome. Probably the happiest person ever now in my life. So I'm happy. Things are good. Things are stable. Still a long way to go in my career, and I'm still have to grind, and not every day is fun. But I'm happy now looking back at it all. But during the time, it was great. It was a grind, absolutely.
Yeah, especially in that first phase where you're not making enough money.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I imagine there's probably some pressure from people in your life that said like, oh, hey, like.
So honestly, I have probably the most supportive network that you could ever imagine, which isn't always good, because everyone around me, they were never the ones like, oh, you're stupid, don't leave your job. They're like, oh, proud of you, keep going, like, you'll do it, no problem, which is great. Sounded
like it worked out.
It worked out, yeah, of course, but in that time, it was just, it didn't seem like it was always going to work out. So I definitely didn't have anyone tell me I was dumb. Maybe they thought it, just didn't tell them. They kept it to themselves. But
sure.
It was more so tough for my own. I didn't want to be the person that my fiance that I need to provide for, and my family. I didn't want to be the person that ruined everything. But at the same time, I knew if I kept doing what I was doing with my life, I would never be happy as well. So
right.
Had to do it. Had to be done. I would rather have lost my house and went to zero than not take the chance for me personally.
Yeah.
I'd rather have gotten paid up 100%.
It's crazy.
All or nothing. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So burn the boats is definitely
crazy.
Something I like.
Yeah. Is there anything specific that you, I guess, learned about entrepreneurship or about leadership during this time? Your transformative phase, I guess you'd call it?
Yeah, I think really understanding how long it takes, or that there's no finish line. And I think it's one of those things that my perspective on entrepreneurship was all of a sudden things would just click into place and it'd be easy. Right? It'd all just work. The money would be coming in, you do your standard 10 things a day and things are just good. And entrepreneurship just isn't that. It's always an ongoing thing, and you really have to fall in love with the journey and the process and enjoy what you're doing. And when I say enjoy what you're doing, you don't have to enjoy every little thing you do, because I do a lot of stuff that sucks. Right? I've done a lot of stuff that I haven't enjoyed and I haven't wanted to do it, but it has to be done for the greater good, for what greater vision is. But yeah, you have to fall in love with the process. Otherwise, you'll just fizzle or burn out. Right?
Yeah.
There's always kind of that light at the end of the tunnel. But at this point, it's just one step, keep going, and
yeah. So what are you up to now? Like, what are your new or current projects?
Yeah. So
what do you like doing the most?
Yeah. So right now, really what we're doing as an agency is moving up market for sure. So as you kind of learn and work with businesses in the marketing space, you kind of see that there's a stage where businesses start bringing everything in-house and have their marketers. And they build their team, and it's usually revenue based because there's more salary available to have somebody in-house where you can, as an owner, you can hold their hand a little bit more, you can have somebody where you have their full attention. And I always thought, okay, well, that just doesn't make sense to me, or doesn't make sense for my company to target those businesses, because we're going to get replaced anyway. So really the nut that I'm cracking or working on building a system around is how we get into that space and provide an essential service for these clients where we feel like a part of the team. We're more heavily invested with these clients, but we're still essential to what they're doing, and we can't be replaced by an in-house team. So that's kind of a big push right now for us, and that involves obviously kind of restructuring our tools and software, building custom apps in-house that can handle kind of our Loop dashboard, and then streamlining a lot of the more entry-level clients that I still have a place near and dear to my heart, because I love the entrepreneurs that are starting a brand new business and are out hustling and doing the work themselves and everything. But at the end of the day, it's just not the optimal right thing for the group. It's more of like the pet projects that I love. I love to invest in entrepreneurs and get them to the point where I like to joke that, we take small clients and build them into big businesses, which we've done time and time again. But yeah, we also need to be able to jump right into those larger businesses now based on our company goals and obviously our skill set. We're just moving that market. So that's kind of like the one focus on the marketing side. On the real estate side right now, getting heavily invested into real estate and group homes is actually something that is taking a lot of my time right now, kind of building a group home model. So that's something that is a fun, exciting venture and probably one of the most rewarding things as well to see it's group homes in kind of the pediatric space.
Yeah.
So kids with disabilities that need.
Can you back up?
Yeah.
Can you back up a bit?
How far do you want to go back?
Just because group homes are not marketing.
No, they're not.
In my mind.
Absolutely.
So what led you to that next step?
Yeah. So again, everything comes from Loop. So through marketing as a whole, worked with the client from day one before the business existed, and they've had explosive growth over the last 3 years. With my knowledge in real estate and what we do, it just made sense to do a little bit of a joint venture moving into the real estate space, and then navigating permits, getting group homes set up in the city isn't the easiest thing, but something that again with my knowledge in real estate, finding these properties that can be converted just kind of naturally came about. So it came from a marketing relationship that just spawned into more opportunities.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. Honestly, I'm the probably the luckiest person of all time. Opportunities just fall into my lap, and I'm very grateful every day for them. But
I think you have the ability to recognize them and filter out maybe the not as great ones.
Which is a very difficult thing. Focus is a very hard thing to hone because there's so many opportunities out there, and there's always ways to make money or be successful, and it is hard to say no to a lot of things. So absolutely,
right?
Yeah, finding the right opportunity and then also sending it home. Right, a lot of people have a cool idea that they think is, we should spend a ton of time into this, and they grind on it for 14 days, and then some little hiccup comes, and it's like, not my thing, and then they go back to whatever their day job and don't worry about it. Right, seeing the opportunity, putting a plan in place, and then executing to actually get it to the point where it's complete is one of the hardest things. People get fatigued so quickly in launch phases of everything.
So what advice would you give them in that scenario? Because I'm sure there's been a ton of people who start up pet projects or serious projects even then that just at some point give up on it for whatever reason.
Totally. So I really think that you have to take time when you're deciding to pull the trigger on these things. Everything seems like it's this big opportunity. So just to circle back on the group home thing, like this is not a quick thing that's come together. It's probably been a 2-year process ramping up to this point. And at the end of the day, when I was excited about it early on, sure, I was like, okay, let's go, this is great, let's move. But by kind of taking a step back, thinking about whether it'll fit, having a couple ongoing conversations, and really just like flushing out the plan and whether it's worth it is kind of the hardest thing to do, because again, it's new, exciting, and there's always shiny new objects. But taking your time, think of the idea quick, write it down, store it somewhere, revisit it, and make sure it's something that you actually want to action. It's kind of what I try and do to myself, and it's not always easy. But my rule of thumb is, there's a quote, I don't even know who it is, it says like, no, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no, right? And that's kind of where I'm at for a lot of
interesting.
things.
Yeah,
it's like if you're not like, this is it, this is something to do it, it's a no, because you're not going to have the persistency to push it through the end.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to dig that up.
Yeah, who is it? I don't know if it's on my head. I think it's one of the early Twitter guys. Maybe not. Anyway.
So do you have just like a list of ideas buried somewhere?
I have several lists of ideas buried in places, but I always go through and purge them.
Yeah.
There's a million good ideas. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Reality. And the hardest things, again, chase 2 rabbits and catch none. Absolutely true. Trying to do too many things, and you're just going to crumble or you're going to break down. And I know that sounds very counterintuitive, being that I have multiple ventures going. But for me, it's keeping everything strictly tied again to the marketing company, which then spawns out, and then I have people in place that assist with the various things. So it's like just kind of keeping your head on track there is difficult, but.
So, like, obviously you've done very well so far.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
I predict that it would be the same in the future. But during this time, is there anybody that you kind of look to for mentorship or guidance?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I think mentorship, coaches, guides are so critical. I think everyone needs them. And honestly, for me, it's I just haven't found somebody that I think I would go to regularly enough to have them as a mentor. I'm definitely one of the people that I like to, depending on the stage I'm at and what problem I'm trying to solve or what weakness I see in myself, I'll kind of float and gravitate towards people that I see are doing it very well. And almost like micro mentors is probably the easiest way I would describe it. Kind of figure out what they're doing, and I just probe, grill, and discuss and chat and get that information. And whether that is a 2-week thing, a 1-day thing, a year thing, like I kind of float between people, depending on where I'm at in my life. And it's something that has always treated me very well because it's not this big formal thing where I say, okay, hey, would you like to be my mentor? It's just chat, and people love when they have a skill set, they're good at something, and you show gratitude for it. It's like, wow, how do you do this? Like, how do you manage your calendar so beautifully? They want to share it because they're passionate about it. So I think, micro mentors is something that and there's dozens, right? I learned from clients, I learned from staff, I learned from contractors, I learned from people in the different networking groups I attend, and everyone has I think everyone's brilliant in their own way. Everyone has some little genius in them. It's kind of finding that and then replicating it. Take what you want out of it, and then ignore the rest is kind of my motto.
Yeah, and I think you just touched on something really interesting because I've heard this question too before. It's like, oh, how do I find a mentor? And I think you kind of just nailed it by asking something really specific about what they do, like exactly what you like, and just asking.
100%. Yeah, I find the reality is the mentor is putting in more work than the mentee, the person being mentored. It's like they're doing you a favor by sharing any little tidbit of knowledge because everyone's busy, everyone's doing their own thing. So if you just you like the idea of someone being successful, I want them to be my mentor. Like it's disrespectful to not go in prepared and have a real reason of what. It's fine if you want something from them because you're giving them the favor of mentorship. Like that's a rewarding thing for them. But if you just go and say okay, well that guy, whatever, owns 200, apartment buildings or something like that. I want him to be my mentor. You're chasing the wrong reasons. Whereas you see somebody like that and you want to understand how he manages his property management team, let's say. You go and ask about that, he's going to love to tell you because it's interesting, right? It's something that it shows that you care about what's actually going on and not just the status he holds.
Right.
Whereas people chase mentors for hypothetical status, which you truly don't know what goes on in that person's life, right? So people can sense it. People can tell when you're in for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really good advice. That's good for emulating positive behaviors.
Yeah.
Is there any trait or behavior that you see can derail a career, especially if you're like a leader in your space?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not perfect at this by any means, but it's something I always try to be as mindful as possible about. It's ego. It's always ego.
It's really interesting because I typically ask this question. You're number 6 that I've asked this very similar question.
Yeah.
Everybody says ego.
Yeah. But it's so true, right? And
100%.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the second you're trying to make decisions for yourself versus what the company or whatever the team is trying to accomplish, you're now steering everything in the wrong direction and you're making decisions that are wrong. Again, that's just the reality, right? So, for instance, for Loop, at the end of the day, if it's going to benefit me personally versus and be detrimental to the company, you can't do it because it's long-term, it's actually hurting me as well. And a lot of people can't see that long-term gain. It's delayed gratification and it's being able to build things in the right way. And it's always ego. And maybe, I think it's more so listening to obviously a couple of your past podcasts. I think, the conversation on ego made sense. So I did hear it as well, listening to it. Like, I think my thoughts are, again, it's based on the decision making or where your motives align. It's egotistical in the sense of trying to do everything for yourself, and that's kind of my take on it, right? It's if you're making your decisions are made with the wrong intentions, that's where things crumble, and that's where businesses fail. And then all of a sudden you butt heads with people because they can sense that you're making decisions.
Yeah, I've seen it for sure too.
Always, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be able to take a step back, and I've heard this from clients before as well. Clients that have had massive growth, ones that are willing to step down from their role if it means the better success of the company, which is so it just seems so crazy. It's like you built this business.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you continue? It's like, well, there's a difference between being a shareholder and the actual working partner of the owner, right? It's having that kind of selflessness. I don't think I'm there yet personally. I can't imagine handing off Luke to someone because it'd be better for the organization. But hearing that, it makes sense. I like to think that I would be able to if there was an opportunity there, but again, it's
not ready.
I don't think I'm there yet.
Not ready, and probably the company isn't either.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I won't get into it, but I can think of a couple specific examples for that exact situation. So, yeah. So what are you doing now to make sure that you still maintain that growth momentum for yourself?
Yeah.
Like, what do you?
Yeah. What am I doing now? So I think for me, focus and just regularly revisiting kind of my notes or my goals for myself, because it's very easy to make goals and set goals and have your plan and everything, and then when you're tired one day it's hard to work that plan. So I think setting intervals to actually think, meditate, whatever. I'm not a huge meditation person, but I definitely like the idea of just silence and thinking, and taking that time to really process and see where you're at. Just self-reflection is probably the most important thing for me to do. It's a huge important thing.
Yeah, you were saying that you're no music in the car guy.
Oh yeah. I'm probably the weirdest person to look at while I'm driving.
Yeah.
I'm either listening to an audiobook or it's absolute silence.
Yeah.
And I love right now I'm doing a little bit of landscaping in my backyard, so I've got some dirting and shoveling, and people are like, "You're crazy! Why don't you hire someone to do that?" And honestly, for me, I love doing mindless, repetitive things so I can just think and process and clear out the cobwebs, so to speak. And driving is perfect for that. Doing yard work, that kind of stuff, is just perfect for it. Working out. Yeah, walking, running.
Yeah.
I definitely used to be a big runner where, I just do, let's say nothing crazy, 5 to 10K, and just run and think. And you just clear it, right? You just get your brain, your blood flowing. I'm definitely a self-reflection person.
Yeah. And you find that super helpful. Like, you find out after one of those mind blank sessions that you come back re-energized, or how does it help you?
Yeah, it just lets you process things, right? I find so much of my day, my phone's ringing, people are chatting, clients are coming to me and saying, okay, this is urgent, everything's urgent.
Yeah.
So just having that time to really just digest and think, okay, just figure out what actually is a priority and what the right step is. And I think, we've discussed this in the past. Like, sometimes you can stare at, a problem, whether you're working at, doing something on a website, and just after 8 hours, you're looking at it, it seems like it's, a foreign language. And then you sleep on it, you think about it a little bit, it was the easiest thing in the world, right? It's just having that time just lets you, like I said, clear out the junk to make better decisions.
Right.
Absolutely critical.
So, obviously that I know you don't really call it meditation, but I personally think it is. So obviously that's super important. Is there any other characteristic that you think every leader, entrepreneur, business owner should possess?
Yeah, so I kind of touched on persistence before. Persistence is a weird one because you don't want to be working at the wrong thing all the time. But at the same time, you do need resiliency to continue when things are tough, because things always get tough, right? There's always times where, you go through these ebbs and flows where you're in this growth cycle and things are great. It's like, oh, the world's easy. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is hard. And then you're up and down. So having that persistence is critical, in my opinion. But also, again, tying back to self-reflection, you also need to make sure that you're not just beating at a concrete wall that's never going to bust.
Yeah.
So it's that delicate balance there to know whether you're working on the right things, but then also being able to just push through when it is the right thing and you feel it is.
Mm-hmm.
Other thing, huge advocate of sleep hygiene. Like it's one of those things that
right.
it's such an important thing. And everyone who tells me that they can't do it or they're a night owl or whatever, like, yes, people are night owls, but the people that just don't sleep and live off, Red Bull or coffee and that kind of thing. Yes, I'm a huge coffee fan, but using it as a crutch to not sleep is just not sustainable.
Right.
You don't think you're not as smart. You just can't work the way you need to, and just being an owner of a company or building a business, like you just need to give yourself every opportunity you have to succeed. And if you can't give up Netflix or whatever, or late night binging, like you're just not taking it seriously enough. Sleep hygiene is just.
So when's your bedtime?
So I'm asleep by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm a huge advocate of be asleep by 10 o'clock. 8 hours sleep is kind of my thing. That's where I kind of feel that right balance. I know some people can get less, some people can get more, but it's just go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. So what are you working on right now? I guess, like, what are your current goals?
Yeah. So
next year, let's say.
Yeah. So next year, I'm gonna go 2 years, just because that's just like I have a clearer goal of what I want. So I'll turn 30 in the next 2 years. Is kind of my thing. And, it's a meaningless number. It's just a funny little thing that
it's a milestone.
It's a milestone, right? It's interesting. So two main goals. So really want to start ramping up in the marketing area again, going after those larger clients, because we have that setup that works very well into that business in the $2 million to $10 million revenue range.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want, my goal is to make our 10 clients $20,000 a month in recurring revenue. Like that's just, once we hit that, I will be very, very happy. That's a large accomplishment.
And who's your ideal client?
Yeah, so ideal clients for us and where we really fit. Service businesses, whether that's B2B or consumer. B2B, absolutely love. So things like fire protection. That's a great fit. Talking commercial cleaning services, those types of areas. Also, a bunch of clients in the medical space. So hearing aids, sleep clinics. Obviously, pediatric care, that kind of thing. Dentists are an absolute great fit for what we do, because dentists are pretty much all marketing to get people in the door. Those are kind of like the main ideal fits. And then a combination of whether it is completely digital, service field-based business, or getting, physical retail locations that have a little bit of balance. But getting those clients into that, $20,000 a month in recurring revenue is just something that is a nice, easy number to process, and also fits extremely well into that, that $1 million to $5 million plus kind of revenue range.
Mm-hmm.
And then gradually just moving past and above that. So that's the goal on the marketing side. On the real estate side, really, my goal, sharing completely transparently, I want 20 doors, so 20 units is kind of my goal on the real estate investment side before I'm 30. Mm-hmm. So that's my
You're probably there already.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're coming on 30%, let's say, is probably the right number. So we're getting up there.
Yeah, great.
And honestly, like, everyone who hasn't put a plan in place to invest in real estate, start. Do it. Like, it's one of those things that again, talking about my mistakes in my past, experiences. When I was a young kid selling cell phones, making money, trying to figure out how to spend it. I wasn't the guy who bought the car. I bought a very expensive house. Good, because I had a lot of expenses that made me have to work and make money, which is good, forced me to be better. At the same time, I would have been 10 times further ahead if I would have made better decisions early on and invested in, an up-down suite, for instance, a property that we could rent out the basement, live upstairs. Like, that would have been a much better idea than buying a big house for, me and my fiance and our cat. So it's just lost money at that point. That not making money. So invest in real estate, everyone.
Do you have any? And this is not just real estate specific, but something that I always am curious about. You and I are both readers.
Yeah.
So are there any? I think I know one of the books you're going to say for sure already. But what are 2 or 3 books that you would recommend on leadership or on learning how to be an entrepreneur or just mindset in general?
Yeah. There's 3 for sure that are super near and dear to my heart, and I probably read them once every 6 months. So E-Myth is the first one. So it's E-Myth, the Entrepreneur Myth. That's by Michael Gerber. So it's just a book on the entrepreneurial process, and it really resonated with me in my journey. It talks about, when somebody wants to start their own business, it's because they do something for somebody else, and they're like, oh, I could do that. Why wouldn't I go and do my own thing? So a plumber that works for someone else, it's like, I can start a plumbing company, and then go and do it. All of a sudden, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, they haven't started a business, they've created a job for themselves. Mm-hmm. And then they get all the added work of they don't get a clock in, clock out. They're making either less money or they're working way harder for the same money. So the E-Myth really just teaches you to take a step out of your business, and the whole cliche, work on your business, not in your business. Absolutely true. You need to take a step back and work and figure out how to build systems, which leads into the next book, which is the Checklist Manifesto. So that book is really just talking about how large businesses, large complicated systems can be simplified by checklists. So things like, you look at a hospital, for instance, and how many things are going on, and people are just coming in with thousands of different reasons, right? Whether there's, breathing issues or whatever, and they have to very quickly be able to assess and go through their checklist and not miss things because people's lives are on the line. And it's done through checklists. That's the reality. And there's different styles and ways.
The Checklist Manifesto.
Checklist Manifesto, yeah, absolutely phenomenal book. Talks about airline pilots, how it's broken down into checklists. Something's going wrong. They don't have the option to fail. They need to figure it out. And the problem is you put the cowboy in that says, whatever, we're going to land this plane upside down, or whatever it is, like that movie. You have your list that you go down and you figure out, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I need to do. Check, 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 check. Done. And you stay calm, you do it, and you work the list, right? So it's just taking the step to plan that instead of just being a cowboy. It's probably the easiest way to describe it. And then last, this is the one that I've pumped so many times for you, Traction. Traction is an absolute phenomenal book for anyone that's kind of past that initial business stage and has a business that's running and wants to figure out how to grow it. So it's all based off of the EOS, which is the Entrepreneurial Operating System, which really, in essence, breaks down a business into simple, trackable numbers that everyone kind of has a pass-fail metric. So we give everyone a count that you need to, what you're responsible for, what you need to do to help the business, and then it needs to be trackable on a weekly basis. And you put those plans, and then it's pass-fail, and if you fail at it for whatever reason, that's fine. Let's figure out how to get there next time. And it just really sets up those systems to actually manage a business, which is one that right now for us, what we're doing is very critical for me. I think it's, I love, E-Myth, very, very important for the first, 2 years managing the business. Checklist Manifesto, same thing. Getting into where we're at now, where I'm trying to really take a step back and not have as much involvement in the day-to-day client operations. Traction is something that I'm leaning on very heavily. So, it's something that I've been reading for the past probably 2 years now.
Yeah, it's on my list.
It's on my list.
It's on my list.
No, it's good, right? And I'm a big reader of just ingest as much content as possible. Find content that resonates. Don't just read for the sake of reading. Find something that aligns with where you're at right now, and then just read the shit out of it over and over again. You have to do it because you keep learning little new tips and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, relearning books I found, especially if it's been years since I've read a book and I go and read it again.
You're a different person.
It's a different book.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I definitely think make notes, revisit, and then just reread. Audible. I should get sponsorship credits for Audible.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get an Audible. Please sponsor me.
Yeah, honestly. The amount of books I sell for Audible.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
And if people want to get in touch with you, if they just want to meet you, if they just want to chat, if they want to talk about marketing, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, honestly, probably easiest would be email. So Alex at loopmarketing.ca, or just loopmarketing.ca if anyone wants to reach out that way. Always up to talk to anyone that just wants to do something, right? That's the reality. I think, anyone that wants to put an idea together, or anyone that's doing things that just wants to collaborate in some way, it's just fun having these conversations. It's fun talking about this stuff. Like I said, entrepreneurs are a different breed for sure, and positivity and motivation kind of spreads more positivity and motivation motivation. So always down to chat.
Great. Okay, well, thanks.
Okay.